Hey everybody, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on the back to school skateboard background that I have on Etsy and my website. So this digital background is made to look like the little one, whoever is on the skateboard, is headed off to school for their first day or first week of school. Um, if you haven't caught it already, the skateboard is actually like the deck itself is actually an old eraser, so it has some erase marks on both sides of the eraser to give it a little bit of a worn look. I thought that was pretty cute because it's back to school, so just adding some small details in there for this picture. And the best possible way to photograph it is to take your picture straight on at your subject. So you want to be down at their level, not standing taller than them. You want to be down, like crouch down to your knees if you need to, and get at exactly their level, like directly onto them. That will avoid kind of what's happening with this foot here. You can tell that it was shot from above versus straight on. So if you photograph it straight on, it'll actually look a lot better than this particular foot. I've done a little bit of a puppet warp to it to try and like tilt it a little bit, but because it was photographed from above, there's no real way to fix it. So for yours, photograph straight on at the level of your subject. So like I said, I already did some work on my person for this tutorial. Um, I'm not really going to go into the puppet warp part just because it's not really part of the tutorial. Just know that I already did some work on this guy. All right. So like I said, I've already cut him out and I've got him ready. So all we need to do for this, and all you'll need to do, is cut out your person. And for their pose, you want to make them either look like they are standing sideways, getting like maybe not pushing off on the skateboard, but just like riding it. However you want them to stand. But you're just going to put them down on the skateboard and you are basically ready to go. I believe we need to add some coloring for him. So because the background itself is a little red orange and he is not. So I would like to make him match a little bit better. So I'm going to add a color balance layer on top of him, and I'm going to clip that to his layer. And I'm just going to add a little bit of red, just a hint, not too much, because I just want him to blend in a little bit better here. Maybe some yellow to make him look like he fits in a little better. The color balance tool, or I'm sorry, the color balance adjustment layer here is a really powerful little tool that you can use whenever you're trying to do stuff like this to make someone match better. The other thing I think that we need is some shadowing underneath at least this foot, because he's standing on it, so there would be a tiny bit of shadowing here. So I'm going to add a brand new layer. I'm going to clip it. Actually, no, I'm not. We're going to move this underneath him. I'm going to make it a multiply blending mode. And then I'm going to use my brush tool and make my brush smaller. Didn't mean to make it that big. And select kind of the color of what's happening underneath him. And before I start doing this, I think I want my opacity of my brush to be at about 10%. So we're going to drop that down, and then I'm just going to start kind of coloring underneath his foot to give him a little bit of a shadow. And like I said, this foot's a little wonky, so it looks a little tilted in my opinion coming off of this board. Like it should be flatter, but maybe his foot's on the edge. So we're just going to pretend. It's all going to be fine. All right. And then if you toggle this on and off, you can kind of see where the shadow has started to be built. I'm going to do another one, multiply as well. And I'm just going to come closer to his foot, a little bit more directed than the other one. The other one was a little bit more broad. You can toggle that on and off too and see the difference. And if you really want to, you can make one more and make that even more detailed, targeted to the edge of the shoe, which I will do just to give it a tiny bit more dimension. All right. So I think something like that works really well for shadowing. You also have the option of adding a little bit more storytelling into your image. I, in the original, stuck a pencil in his pocket, a frog in this pocket for show and tell, and I considered putting a water bottle in this hand, but I didn't necessarily love how it looked. But for yours, you can add whatever you like. I always like to leave a little bit of room for whoever I'm working with to add stuff in like that, for like pockets, for example, or just little details here and there. The plane, like the paper plane back here, that comes with the background, and so does the bird. But feel free to add, like I said, anything in here that you love or you think is interesting. If you are using this background and have done your own, please send me a copy of it. I would absolutely love to see how you handled it. I guess for now, that's everything that goes along with this particular image. If you guys have any questions on how to use it or any Photoshop questions in general, please feel free to join me over on my Photoshop group on Facebook, SYTJ Photoshop Community, and I will see you guys on the next tutorial.